"15 seconds. You ready?"
They use this.
You got your recording? Okay. Okay, Brady in the back. Good evening, everybody. You are at a Plan Commission of the City of Wausau. It is Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. It is 5 p.m., and you are at City Hall Council Chambers. We do have a quorum present. And item number one for consideration is the approval of the minutes from May 20th, 2025. Would entertain a motion from Borneman, second from Brueggemann. Those in favor signify by, let me ask, is there any changes? Get a chance to review it? Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that passes. First item up is item 2 for public hearing. It's discussion on approving a conditional use permit for 2811 West Wausau Avenue to allow construction of a multiplex, which are 3 to 4 units per building within the 2-flat residential 10, the TF10 zoning district. Would entertain a motion. Well, actually, I don't think we need a motion. We can open up the hearing. We're going to open up the hearing on that item. Is there anyone here that would care to speak to that item for 2811 West Wausau Avenue? Well, the public hearing is going to solicit. I mean, you'll have another opportunity another day when we discuss and vote on it. But if you're looking to speak to the public hearing portion of it, which is set by ordinance or municipal code, so it's your option. But I will have to announce it 3 times. So the public hearing is open for 2811 West Wausau Avenue. If you'd like any public comment, last call for 2811 West Wausau Avenue. Okay, we'll close the public hearing. Seeing no comments. Another public hearing on is item number 3, and this is discussion on approving a conditional use permit for 508 East Wausau Avenue to allow construction of an off-street parking lot with the 2-flat residential 10, which is a TF10 zoning district. That public hearing is open. Anyone looking to speak to 508 East Wausau Avenue?
Sure.
508 East Avenue, public hearing, going twice.
I just want to note there's a printed email copy in front of all the commissioners that we did receive late today. So that was submitted as part of the public hearing for today.
That's this piece here?
Yep.
Okay. So for the record, we have public comment from Shannon Yeager, 510 East Wausau Avenue.
Yeah, that's the property directly to the east of the subject property.
Okay, so that's entered into the record. Do we need to read this?
Yeah, I spoke with Shannon earlier. I mentioned that we probably wouldn't read it word for word, but we would acknowledge that we did receive it. Just to highlight some of the concerns, the landscaping and separation between this property and her property. She had questions about the snow removal and maintenance. So there was a fence that was located on the property, on the subject property, that was removed, and there was some concern during that process of some rutting of her property, as well as some firewood that was removed. There was some placed back there, but she still has some. It wasn't satisfactory to her, compared to what she had there previously. She had concern about the lighting and as well as the bike rack placement. So, yeah.
Okay, so this is the parking lot for, wait a minute.
Yeah, for
Athletic
athletic
park.
For
park.
athletic
There's
park.
a rendering of it on the screen here. It's just a 7-stall accessible lot for the
Right.
athletic park. And I get, just as part of the process, this is the public hearing. We will come back next month with a recommendation and for this body to take action.
Okay, so that will be in the packet if anyone wants to review that. Last call for any other public comment on 508 East Wausau Avenue. Seeing none, we'll close that public hearing. Next up is a discussion and possible action. This is item 4 for the specific implementation plan for 1040 South 12th Avenue. Would entertain a motion. Motion from Brueggemann. Second from Larson.
I guess.
Comments, discussion, go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, thank you. So we did receive updated plans just recently, I believe yesterday. Those are also passed out for the meeting, the hard copies here. And what's on the screen is the previous version. We didn't update that digitally yet, but so I guess the changes were minimal. They were to address some of the concerns that staff had pointed out in the staff report, mainly with the amount of windows that are on the front and sides. That was addressed in the new plan. You can see there were windows added specifically in the bedrooms in the front and also on the bathroom on the side. We had requested some additional information that was provided, mainly with the site plan and the distances of the driveways. We just wanted to ensure that that was long enough to hold a vehicle outside. They're showing 18 feet on that driveway, which I believe, Bill, is the minimum length that we require for a parking stall in the city. So that would meet the minimum there, as well as the distance to the property line from the driveway to that north property line is over 5 feet. We'd be looking for 5 feet there as well. So that meets that. Just going through some of the other things. This terrain plan that's shown, the new one, that does have the dimensions on there that we just talked about. It is sort of the landscaping plan showing the trees and bushes. It doesn't have the specific species or size, but it does show the location of where those would be located. I guess, one thing that staff had suggested was a calculation on the impervious surface of the lot. In the duplex zoning, normally it's 55% max impervious surface. We just wanted to get a sense of what's being proposed. They're, just eyeballing it, it looks like it could be close, but we don't have the exact percentage to give you. We are dealing with a smaller lot, as noted during the general plan. That's kind of why the petitioners wanted the PUD is for that flexibility for a smaller lot than normal. So I guess we did kind of want to get an estimate of that impervious calculation, just to know what we're dealing with here. But other than that, the new plans, do address the concerns that were brought up by staff. And, there are still some things, as noted too, with the permitting process that we normally take care of. The fencing would be looked at a little more closely, and any building lights that would go on the building. Just want to make sure that those comply with our zoning as well. So I guess, we have been working with the petitioners along the way from the initial concepts through the general plans and now the specific plans. We think it's going in a good direction.
Okay, thank you. Is that a staff function to calculate that 55%, or are we looking at?
Generally, we ask for the petitioner to calculate that. I mean, we could try to take some measurements, but it might not be the most accurate. So I think a gentleman has a comment.
Mr. Cricks?
All right. Yes. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jay Cricks with North Star Builds. I guess my main question would be the impervious plan. Is that because we're looking for rain runoff? And where that water would be directed? Because we had a conversation prior to this meeting today, and I think we were going to direct that into the like the water runoff area where you can tie right in. So we'd tie the gutters right in, and there wouldn't be tons of water runoff from the roof line. It would be directed right into the, like the wastewater.
Storm sewer?
Yeah, storm sewer.
Okay.
That's what I meant, not the wastewater, storm sewer. So I wanted to address that. And also in regards to, and the landscaping plan, a lot of that stuff was put on there, I guess, for illustrative purposes, but if there is a specific list of plants that are preferred in the city of Wausau, we'd be more than happy to take a look at that list and pick something that would flow nicely with the other properties on Thomas. So just wanted to throw that in there. If there's any other ideas or questions, I can get I guess, the percentage if that's needed, but if it's not an issue because we're going to direct the water specifically to, a certain area, just let me know. I can get that stuff if necessary. Okay?
Thank you. Mr. Larson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to, this happens to be in my district, and I want to thank the contractor here for, not only listening to the committee here, but listening to the residents here about, and taking the parking concerns into consideration here and solving that issue. So thank you very much. I think, it's a nice way to come in a neighborhood, when you have nobody against you. So thanks again.
Absolutely. Our designer came up with it. We were all scratching our heads, and she's like, why don't we come in behind and push everything this way? I'm like, thank you, Hadley. Thanks for figuring this out. So I think she did a great job.
Thank you. It looks good. And anything else, Brad?
Yeah, I guess just on the comments of the impervious surface, I mean, that's a standard that's baked into our zoning code. I guess for the intent of it, the stormwater is, and the runoff is a concern. That's why it's in there. But also just a buffer between neighborhoods. It's a residential neighborhood, so you don't want all, pavement. You want some greenery. It kind of softens the landscaping. Urban heat island effect, things like that. It's just, I guess it's better for surrounding properties and the general public to have that, at least some green space on the site. But runoff is a major concern as well.
We'll certainly have more visible green space than the other, I think they're Blinker properties to the east of us. Those will literally concrete right to the sidewalk where you're gonna see green pretty much around.
Can you step to the front? We'll get this on record.
Sure. So if you look to the properties just to I think it's to the east of us, they're like kind of gray and blue, light blue. I think they're Blinker properties. But those properties go right to the sidewalk. There's no visible green space. It's concrete right to the patio and then straight up with siding. So, there's visible green space all the way around the buildings, in between the buildings, on the back side of the buildings. So I know we're close, but there certainly is. You'll be walking, basically down the sidewalk, and there'll be a nice green lawn with nicely landscaped stuff, opposed to you go through that next intersection and it's all concrete. So that's just my 2 cents.
The rendering looks good. Thank you. Anything further? We have a motion and a second to accept the specific implementation plan for 1040 South 12th Avenue. Oh, pardon
I
me.
just have a question. Brad, what happens if in the final calculation of the lot that it is not 55%? Is it something that you work, or do you have that leeway because it's a PUD to
Yeah.
let it go?
Sure. Well, normally, if it was a standard zoning district, I think we'd work with the petitioners to get it to that percentage. In this case, we don't have the exact percentage, so we're just kind of, the PUD is flexible, so it could be approved at a lesser, or I'm sorry, if it's maximum, at a greater percentage of impervious, if the committee decides they want to, flex on that particular standard. I think we just wanted to, get a sense of it so we know if this is another standard that is being flexed or if they already meet it and don't have to do anything. I guess we just wanted to provide you guys with the information that, this is where it's at, this is what it should be at. What you can still make the decision to, override it and say, yeah, we're fine with it. But I guess at this point, we're just kind of, again, eyeballing it and seeing if it's close enough or, it's up to you guys if you want that number specifically to come back to this body. we could certainly do that if you want to, approve it conditionally on that number. And that could be an option, or, hold off on approving it until we get that. I guess it's sort of up to the committee.
I was kind of looking at it this afternoon, and I don't think it's going to be over the threshold. It's roughly, they could have 7,300 square feet of impervious surface, and the buildings are only 4,800, so they got another 2,500 of asphalt and sidewalk, so I think you're going to be okay.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the plan without any amendments. Okay. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of the specific implementation plan, 1040 South 12th Avenue, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Craigs.
Thank you.
Next meeting date is set for July 15th, 2025. Any objections to that? Same place, same time. Would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion from Bulkin, second Larson, all in favor? Have a good night. Ooh, 16 minutes. I can make my 5:30.